So hey y'all, I'm back with another video. So tonight's video is yet again another Chioma Chats video podcast edition. So by the title, we're gonna be doing another random opinions about random things. So this series has definitely gotten very controversial, and I do acknowledge that. However, this is just random opinions, unpopular opinions, random things that I think of throughout my week that I want to tell y'all. I would love to hear some of y'all's popular and unpopular opinions down below. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. So my first opinion is, I think that the Migos and Rae Sremmurd were in competition back in the day, like in 2013, 2014, all the way to 2017. And not necessarily like a beef, but I feel like both groups were producing hip hop hits all that while and kind of paralleling with the whole rap group thing for a good couple of years. And I don't think people ever really noticed, because I never really noticed until I just decided to listen to Rae Sremmurd the other day. And I realized that just like the Migos, Rae Sremmurd was a rap group with just as much popularity as them during that time. I think at some point the Migos did surpass Rae Sremmurd, and I think it just had to do with marketing. You could distinctively tell the Migos apart. They were very adaptive in their music, and they became a lot more popular because their marketing was a lot more urban, which was the look people wanted to see in the late 2010s. For Rae Sremmurd, I feel like they kind of fell off at some point for whatever reason, but I never noticed how much they were essentially the competition for the Migos back in the day. My next opinion is, we need Wendy Williams back. Wendy Williams to me is a staple in Black media. I mean, she is world-renowned, she is unapologetic, she's very distinct in her presence in pop culture media, and I missed her. I didn't always agree with everything Wendy had to say. She definitely said a lot of polarizing things over the years, but I do respect journalism and I respect people's commentary, because I think to be bold enough to be a Black woman on the radio who is headstrong in her words, I have to respect it. Wendy Williams has been a part of urban media for years, and people try to discredit her because she is a little nice nasty, but I think that's what makes Wendy Williams Wendy Williams. I mean, hey, people could say the same thing about me. I don't think I'm nice nasty, but I sometimes say things that are a little bit harsh or firm or whatever, and it may not be everyone's cup of tea. Wendy was a part of my inspiration to do commentary, because I just have to respect women who can be adamant about their opinions, their beliefs, and how they view the world around them. That is just very appealing to me in anybody, but especially women, because we're oftentimes encouraged to keep our mouths shut and told that our voices and opinions don't matter. To see a woman like Wendy Williams, who is tall just like me, Black just like me, and also college educated just like me, it's not the imagery that you see oftentimes being pushed to the forefront, and that's why I will always respect her craft. I wish Wendy would come back on our TV screen. I miss you, Wendy. I literally used to watch Wendy every day in college after class. I would always catch the YouTube replay, and I literally planned to go to one of her live shows, and now I can't. So I hope her health and her life situation has improved. We need Wendy Williams back. My next opinion is, there is nothing more irritating when there are men who have a long beard, like a goatee, and they don't trim the dead ends. Ladies, do y'all ever see those guys who have a long goatee, and it doesn't even have to be too long, but all you can see are split ends and an uneven length of their beard? But it's like when you tell them that, hey, you should probably trim it to at least even it out so that it's not just dead hair growing from your beard and on your face, they tell you that they want it to be that way because it makes it look longer. I tell guys all the time, don't come around me with a long beard, because I'm gonna trim it, because it looks disgusting to see dead hair hanging from your face. I don't know what's wrong with some of these gentlemen who have these beards, but when I see it, it really does irritate me. I feel like for men who want longer hair, they oftentimes really don't even care for it like that. Like, they think the more rugged look makes it look better, but it literally makes it look unkempt. I'm tired of seeing uneven, untrimmed, dead end, split goatee beards, just beards in general. Hopefully some guys realize that you should probably get a professional to wash your beard, condition it, steam it, and please trim it. It just looks like a battleground for bacteria beard, if you ask me. My next opinion is, Nicki Minaj and Cardi B both be hopping on new female artist songs. And I feel like there's this narrative that only Cardi B gets on songs of new artists, and that's what keeps her relevant, but I think Nicki Minaj does as well. I don't see anything wrong with it, because they are literally promoting the songs that are popular or viral and bringing them to a larger audience. And I think that's what they should be doing. I mean, they both have been in the rap game for an extended period of time at this point. And I do get what people are saying, because it seems like, at least for Cardi B, she doesn't have any new or original music out right now, so it seems like she just is hopping on people's waves. But I feel like both of them get on songs with upcoming artists regardless. So I never understand the disparity of trying to drag one but praise the other, because there's nothing wrong with either one. Now, I will say this. I think it's a double standard though, because Cardi B and Nicki Minaj hopping on the songs of new artists gets called all of these different names and theories. However, how many male artists do the same thing to upcoming male rappers without any backlash? I see this all the time. Lil Baby has been on so many songs of new upcoming male rappers, from Rob 49 to Sleazy World Go to Nardo Wick. Like, all of that is embraced. It's like, I feel like women in rap or female rap fans literally just want the girls to beef all day, every day, because you picked a side and now you hate the other artist. It's giving I'm either a grown loser who can't think for themselves, or I'm under 18 and I'm just a crazy fan. Because I don't see the problem. Y'all remember the song Who Wants Smoke by Nardo Wick? He already had that song out. He had 2 verses by him on the song. There's an original song. It had a lot of traction on YouTube, and that was the original version of the song. But the song literally became one of the biggest songs of 2021 because he had not 1, not 2, but 3 huge male rap artists on it. He had Lil Durk, 21 Savage, and G Herbo on his song. And yes, people may have been like, that's fishy, being that that's a lot of exposure for a new artist. But if his deal or his label or his money was able to afford them, I don't see the issue with hopping on songs. And nobody dragged 21 Savage or Lil Durk or G Herbo for co-signing and hopping on an upcoming artist song, because I feel like personally, men are not as catty when it comes to stuff like this. But there is a double standard. Big name male rappers can hop on everybody's song, but the female rappers that are big and do it, now they get called out. Let's be real, there's definitely not as many active, seasoned female rappers in comparison to male rappers. So when female rappers are looking to get a big feature, they don't have like 10 or 15 different options to choose from. So that could be a cause for the double standard. However, I see nothing wrong with either one of them doing songs with upcoming female rappers. My next opinion is Glorilla's stage name is good. Her real name is Gloria. So I do like that it is a spin on her name. And I think it's actually very fitting. Not because she looks like a gorilla, no. But I think gorillas are considered hardcore and they have a big presence, and that kind of exemplifies Glorilla's rap style and her sound. I feel like, yes, I see why people don't like it, because it does feed into the stereotypes of black women being aggressive, or even worse, having features that are similar to an animal such as a gorilla. I do get that, but I feel like it's not too bad of a name whatsoever, especially being that her real name is Gloria. To me, it doesn't really reinforce a stereotype, because stereotypes are true, and I don't know about y'all, but black women do not remind me of a gorilla. That's just more or less a negative perception that is literally racist more than anything. Not stereotypical, but simply racist. I see the pushback though, but genuinely, I think it's a good rap name. It's simple, it's short, and I think it can be spun into other different sobriquets. Sometimes she calls herself Big Glow, and I do like that name. And again, her name is Gloria, so I'm pretty sure people do call her Glow, so it's fitting. I like the name, she should keep it. It definitely works for her. My next opinion is, why is it still a thing that hotel checkout is 11 a.m. and check-in is 3 p.m.? Like, that is so counterproductive. Like, why haven't we as a collective of people tried to get a bill passed to get this eradicated? I mean, it's not that serious, but when you think about it, it kind of fits into the idea of corporate culture and capitalism. Literally, I mean, all of these hotel franchises are controlled by private owners, and they're making a profit off of whatever business structure that they have set up. And I think when you think about it, you're not truly getting your money's worth when you're checking into a hotel halfway through the day around 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. and then having to leave before afternoon. That's not considered a day. It makes more sense to be able to check in at 9 a.m. or even 11 a.m. and then you could check out in the afternoon, because the day is technically over after 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. I think we all know this, and we've just been living in this corporate cycle because it's just the way how things have been forever. But I think that somebody should challenge this, because when I go to hotels and I travel, because I don't really do Airbnbs like that anymore because they have become more expensive than hotels, it just gets irritating because hotel check-in and check-out times never work for people's real life schedule. My next opinion is, husbands and wives can split the bills. I really hate how social media and this glamorization of being a housewife has caused women to think that they don't contribute to their household. Now, I will say this. I do think that men should and traditionally bear most of the financial burdens of a household. So in my household, that's what I was used to seeing growing up, and culturally for me, it's kind of the norm. But I don't think there's anything wrong with a woman who contributes to the bills within her household. Living is expensive, especially here in America. Inflation in the economy is so bad that people who still live in La La Land to think that you're gonna slip upon the penis of a rich scammer and he's gonna buy your life, get out of your delusion. If your man pays all your bills, great. If you contribute to your household, great. It doesn't make you less of a woman. I get the whole idea of hypergamy and leveling up and surrounding yourself with high-earning men. I will always push and encourage that. But I feel like it's my demographic, for those of us who are in our 20s, that have this weirdly inflated ego and very deceptive vision of what men should be doing for us. The average 20-something-year-old man is not in a position where he can take care of you and him solely. It's one thing if he pays the rent and utilities and you just pay the groceries. Do what works for your situation. However, don't make the internet make you feel like you're with a bum boyfriend or a bum husband because you contribute to the bills within your household. That doesn't make any sense. My next opinion is, sampling songs doesn't make you less of an artist. I actually think it makes you a good artist if you know how to use a sample. I follow this page on Instagram and it's called Songs and Samples. If you're into music, definitely follow this page. But it basically shows you how artists use samples from classical pieces to jazz pieces to funk pieces from the 70s and 80s, even 90s samples samples within hip-hop and recreate songs that are popular today. And it's really impressive how a lot of these producers and engineers are able to tweak different elements of the stems to a song to sound new, but also have a nostalgic effect. And I think a lot of people say things like, these new artists sample songs and it's not original and it makes them bad artists, but I feel like a well-done sample is actually showcasing how musically inclined you can be. If you can sample a song that's really popular in real life and also put your spin to it to give it a different variation, I actually think that's hard. Maybe I'm just being biased because I do sample some of my music that's about to come out, but I really worked hard to make it sound similar to the original, but also original to me. I know Saweetie used to get a lot of flack because when she first came out, a lot of her songs were sampled songs remixed to a newer version that she made, but they were still a bop, and it still put her on because people actually liked them and liked her new version of a classic song. For example, the song My Type is a sample or a remake of the song Freak a Leak by P.D. Pablo. That used to be my song. So I just personally think that artists that know how to sample a song are actually very impressive artists. My next opinion is Chloe Bailey gets unnecessary hate. Like, I think the reason why Chloe Bailey gets the hate that she does is because people painted an image of her that she doesn't live up to 100% of the time. And I don't get that because Chloe Bailey never once told y'all that she was innocent. Her sister never once told y'all that she was just this angelic, godly angels that are free of sin and do nothing all day, but read their Bibles, sing songs, and talk to Beyonce. But that's what everyone took them as, and now that everyone sees that they're just like any other 20-something-year-old girls, every little thing that they do gets scrutinized, especially for Chloe. I see Chloe's name trending, and every single time it's something that is so unnecessarily extra, and it actually makes me so irritated for her because it's so undeserving. She is so unproblematic to me. I know one time I spoke about her kind of doing too much when she was singing a song, but that was like the only thing I can probably say. Everything else that Chloe Bailey has done has not been nearly as repulsive as some of the things that a lot of female artists in 2023 put out there. So much other BS gets a shoulder shrug or a blind eye turn, but Chloe Bailey breathes, and then here comes the internet calling her out. Honestly, sometimes I second guess even going into the industry and potentially becoming a bigger name because this type of stuff is just kind of exhausting, but it does come with the territory nonetheless. Even here on YouTube with my little small following, I think people just need to realize that Chloe Bailey is probably just like you. She's probably on the gooder, I know that's not a word, but the gooder side of the average young person. She's going to make a lot of the same decisions and choices that any other 20-something-year-old girl would make. My next opinion is this generation is full of functioning alcoholics, like real bad. Have y'all noticed that every leisure activity that is promoted to young people has something to do with drinking? Everything is mimosas and chill, drunk bowling, Hennessy and homework, tequila and tea parties, painting and Patron, kayaking and Casamigos, dirt bikes and Don Julio. Like, everything has some type of alcoholic beverage in every other activity that is promoted to young people. And yes, I made all those things up. Don't nobody take my ideas because one day I might even use them. But for real, have y'all noticed that there is this indoctrination of alcohol at higher rates than ever before? And maybe I never noticed it when I was younger because I was a kid, but even once I was 21, it wasn't as bad as it is now. I'm not gonna lie, I do think Meg Thee Stallion pushing that whole drive the boat thing upped a lot of people's alcohol consumption, because although drinking alcohol has always been a leisure activity for adults, when you make it a movement, it's gonna go crazy. But besides that, I still think that this generation is full of functioning alcoholics. The reason why I feel like I don't have a social life is because I can't find people my age, 25, that can't have fun without alcohol involved. And if you don't know, I really don't drink. I never order alcohol when I go out. When guys ask me to buy a drink, I always decline. I just don't like drinking. On my birthday, cool. If people want to take some shots, I'll take one. But I really hate alcohol for real. But it's like everybody just wants to drink all day long. Everybody's always posting these fancy margaritas or these bartender recipes on how to make these different types of drinks. And I do think it's affecting young people. Ladies, especially black women, my college professor freshman year creative writing class told me the number one most fattening thing and the number one thing that kills black women in America is consuming alcohol, overconsumption of alcohol. And the way how alcohol is promoted is actually very scary. I swear people be halfway tipsy doing jobs because alcohol is so much of a young people culture here in the States that it's almost normal to include alcohol in every leisure activity now. I'm sure it's always kind of been this way, but to me, I see a lot of functioning alcoholics in this generation. So that is it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Please let me know your commentary on my commentary down below. What do you think? What do you know? Let me know. If you haven't already, go stream my song Ballin'. It is out on all platforms and I have new music dropping very soon. It's a few more days until y'all hear Ceremony. And last but not least, follow me on all of my social media networks and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye y'all. I said 34 beat cup, 30 in the deep cut,
20 baddies with me, QTM, yeah, we up. 16 tops and bottoms, man, I went and got my teeth done. 10 minutes with him, now his 15 minutes is cut. Never ever make a nigga think that he up, cause you a queen and I'm a queen, now shout out to Latifah. Security in the back with a racket like Serena. Ex-nigga crying, laugh at him like a hyena. Like, damn, what you saying, daddy? Yeah, I know I got it fatty. Pussy talking to him, talk my shit, yeah, I be getting catty. Play with me, I bet you won't. Daddy on his chest and now he calling me a stethoscope. Pink fit, look thick, I'm looking good, incredible. Cut a nigga off, I'm coming through like a semicolon. Mansion in the motherland, December come, that's where we going. Body have my niggas frozen, niggas put my picture up and yeah, they go and get the lotion. And I'm the one they check up on. Feeling so lucky, getting green like a leprechaun. Run a few errands with the bag with the checkers on it. Push it on the floor because it's mine and I'm stepping on it. Get the cheese and keep it wet, so yeah, he call me macaroni. Niggas on my line and now they begging me for matrimony. Detroit nigga touchdown.